Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Veronica, known as Data Geek, and in today's video, we're going to go over part one of data cleaning. So we clean the data and we kind of visualize with some of the visuals. However, in this video of part two, I want to show you how to save the clean data set, how to visualize that data set, and how to put those visuals into a PDF and export it for use, such as maybe a meetings or anything you may need those PDFs for. So we're going to do that in part two. So if you haven't watched part one yet, I suggest you go back and watch part one on how to clean the data. I will put that link here. So make sure to go check that out. So as you can see on my screen, this is what we did in part one. We imported our libraries. We are reading the customers.csv file. That data set I share with you in the video in part one. So we're viewing the data set. We are looking at data frame. This shows you the information of the data set. Also looking at our variables, we checked our duplicates, and then once the data set was cleaned up, we went ahead and looked at our visualizations. We created pie charts on female and male of their spending. We did a item purchase, so blouses, jeans, coats, also clothing, footwear, accessories, so on. And we did also seasonal distribution of sales, winter, spring, and summer. We compared those. We did a bar chart by age group distribution and how much they spent. Also age group distribution based on gender. And scrolling down, this is part two of the video. So in part one, we cleaned a real-world customer data set. And in this video, part two, we'll take it further by building advanced visualizations and exporting the clean data set for future use. So we're going to go ahead and first off, save the clean data set. Save as a CSV file, so later on you can save it as future projects such as Excel, Power BI, or even SQL. Then after we save that data set, we want to upload it again so we can go ahead and create a box plot, heat map, a histogram, scatter plot. Then again, at the end, we will save the data set. And then what we will do is we will also save those visualizations as a PDF. So like if you have a meeting or you're meeting with your group and you want paper to print out or share it on email or whatever you want to do, it's going to be a PDF format with these visualizations. First, I want to go ahead and go to my kernel, and here you can reset your kernel, you can clear outputs, but in this case I want to restart kernel and run all cells. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can see it reached the bottom here. Everything ran successfully. And I'm going to go ahead and click here and add a cell under step number one. So we're going to save the data set in Python using Pandas. So first thing you want to do is go df.to_CSV, open parentheses, single quotation. Now what are you going to name your data set? I want to name it cleaned underscore customer underscore data.csv, and then close that single quotation, and then comma, index equals false, close parentheses. So this is the line of code to save your data set. So again, we cleaned the whole data set, and I want to save it as naming it cleaned customer underscore data.csv. So I will go ahead and run this code, and it ran successfully. So now the question is, where did it get saved to? So if you go to your home page of Jupyter Notebook and you scroll all the way down to the little green boxes, these are all CSV files, you will see it here, cleaned underscore customer underscore data, 19 seconds ago here on your right side. So if I double click that, it will show me my data set. So this is my cleaned version of my data set. So from here you go to File, and then you can go ahead and save CSV file. So you save it onto your computer. That is how to save your data set. So going back to the code, now what we want to do is we want to load it back in here. So I'm going to go ahead and open a cell. So first thing you need to import your libraries, import Pandas as PD. And then I want to call it df. You can call it data, you can call it df, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But in this case, I'm going to call it df equals pd.read, because it's going to read my file underscore CSV. So it's reading the CSV file. And what CSV file do you want it to read? Single quotation, I want it to read my cleaned customer data. So I'm going to go ahead and go back up here to this cell in step 1 and click and drag to highlight, do a Control C to copy and a Control V to paste, close that single quotation and close the parenthesis. So now it's going to read that file. Well, next I want to go ahead and view head of my data set. So df.head, open and close parentheses. So using this df.head, it's going to read the first 5 of your data. So if I run that, you'll see it's the first 5, of course, starts with 0 and then 1 to 4. And it shows your variable names. You need to make sure what your variable names are, exactly how they're spelled, or if, see how purchase amount has a space instead of an underscore, you have to use these spellings exactly how it is in your data set. Otherwise, your code will not run successfully. And it's good to just kind of look at it, make sure it's the data set you need and you want. So whatever you called it here, you're going to do the name here. Just keep that in mind. So now, number 3, we're going to create a box plot, purchase amount by age. So first thing we do is we need to import Seaborn, because we're going to use Seaborn as SNS. So Seaborn and Matplotlib, import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. So these are the libraries you need to use those visualizations. So then we're going to go ahead and create this code, which I already have this code typed up. So I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. So this is your plt.fig size, which is you're telling it what size of box plots you need. So then you're using the SNS, which is your Seaborn box plot, and then you want your X to equal age group, Y to equal your purchase amount. And we're going to do a pastel color. So this is your color. Okay, and then it's going to call this data equals df. So that's your data set name. Then your title of your box plot. So what do you want to title this? We're going to title this spending distribution by age group. And then these are your label names. So we want to label X label as age group, because that's what our X axis is going to be. And then we want our Y label to be purchase amount, which we named our Y label here to pull that from our data. And then a plt.xtrix rotation equals 45. And then we want it to show the visual. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. And here is our spending distribution, which is our title, purchase amount, which is our label names, age group, which is our label name. So under 18, 18 to 24, so on and so forth. So this box plot gives a distribution of spending across different age groups. So the line in the box is the median. The box itself shows the middle 50% of the data. So it's the interquartile range. And the dots or lines outside the box are potential outliers. But in this case, we don't have any outliers. It looks perfect. Okay, so then next we're going to go ahead and do a heat map. So I'm going to add another line here. So I will copy and paste again. So here's the heat underscore data equals df pivot table. So then we're going to do an index age group, our columns season, and purchase amount. And make sure these column names are exactly as they are spelled. So again, this is why we kind of view our data here. We have season here, a purchase amount with a space. So we have all of those columns spelled correctly, age group. Then our fig size, of course, and then heat map, data underscore data, and PLT title. So you want your title, which is purchasing frequency by age group and season. So that's the name of the title, and our X label and Y label. And then, of course, the PLT.show to show our visual. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. And here is our heat map. So this heat map is the age group versus seasonal. The darker blue equals more purchases. So this quickly spots seasonal trends and specific age groups. For example, 18 to 24 made the most purchases during spring, kind of slowed down a little bit in summer, and then in winter again it went back up. Scrolling down to histogram. So next we'll create a histogram. So again, I'm going to go ahead and paste that code in here. So pretty much you can see they're pretty consistent as the code, just a little slightly different. Like this one is SNS heatmap. This is SNS box plot. So that's the only thing you're really changing besides the titles and the labels. And of course, what variables you need within that. So now it's the SNS histoplot. So for this, we're going to go ahead and use purchase amount. We're going to use a sky blue, and then we titled our title, our main title, and then X label and Y label, and then we show our histogram. I'll run this code. So this is the histogram distribution of purchase amounts to understand how purchase amounts are distributed. So as you can see, here's purchase amount. So this is the amount of purchase are distributed across all customers. So the KDE curve, which is this right here, shows the overall shape of the distribution. You can see the peaks, the most common purchase range, which is here. And this is useful for understanding whether spending is mostly small, moderate, or large. So then again, we want to go ahead and add another column here for scatter plot. So going to number 6. So in this step, I'm going to go ahead and paste in this code again. But of course, the SNS.scatterplot is what we are needing. And the x-axis is age and the y-axis is purchased amount. And we have a who, which is gender, and we want it to set to 2. Then we have our titles and our labels and dot show. So go ahead and run this code. And here is our scatter plot. So it's going to be age versus purchased amount. In this visualization, it shows the relationship between customers' age and how much they spend, broken down by gender. So you can see our who here, which is gender, male and female. And it's getting called from our gender column in our data set. And female is kind of like a orange, male is like a teal. So you can see here purchase amount on your y-axis and age on your x-axis. And this shows clusters or patterns. So people between 20 and 30 is more of a cluster. Also 30 and 40, but not as much as this age group here. And then if you can see here, going higher in age, the dots are spread evenly. There's no strong relationship. Okay, so then now we are at the last step, which is save the cleaned data set. I'll go ahead and add a line here. And here we want to save our data set. So df.to underscore CSV. And again, it's exactly what we did in step 1. Underscore customer underscore data.csv. Single quotation, comma, index equals false. Close parentheses. And go ahead and run that. So if you run this, it's going to save it again. See, 2 seconds ago, going back to your home page in Jupyter Notebook, it just updated that saved data set. Since you already had it saved the first time, it just updates it every time you run that same code. So that's how to save the data set, but now I want to save these visualizations. And how do I do that? So I'm going to save it to a PDF. So you're going to do from matplotlib dot backends dot backend underscore PDF, and we want to import PDF with a capital P, lowercase df, and then capital P, and then pages. So here we're going to create a multi-page PDF. And with PDF pages, open parentheses, single quotation. Now we're going to name this data underscore visualization underscore report dot PDF. Single quotation, close parentheses. And we want to save it as PDF. And semicolon. So here we want to go ahead and enter the code for each of those. So I already have it all typed up because it's a lengthy code, but I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. And number 1, box plot. So here is your box plot code. As you can see, it's exactly how it was here. the code that we ran. So same exact code for each of these, box plot, heat map, and histogram. I'm putting it in the PDF. So again, number 1, box plot, the code. Number 2, heat map, the code. Number 3, histogram, the code. And number 4, scatter plot, the code. So now I'm going to go ahead and run this. And I spelled something wrong. And I already can see it. So matplotlib here, M-A-T-P-L-O-T, and I forgot the L here. So lib, matplotlib. That's why it's important. Everything is spelled correctly when running your code. And there you go. So the code ran successfully. So now, where did this go? Do you guys remember? Yes, the home page of Jupyter Notebook. So let's go back. And if you scroll down, all the way down, it will show you a PDF, because we named it data_visualization report. So if you click on that, it will open up as a PDF. So here are your 4 visuals that we created. So, and again, once you open this up and you see all of your visualizations, and in Jupyter Notebook you have this little print or even download icon here on your top right side, or you can go to File and Save PDF File. So that is a wrap. You now have a complete workflow. You cleaned your data set, you analyzed it visually, and you even saved it to an Excel file and all your visuals in a PDF. So don't forget to check out part 1 if you missed it, so you can learn how to clean your data set. And make sure to subscribe for more data projects like this one. Thank you again so much for your support and watching. I will see you on the next video.